Breaking right now at 11. A violent and deadly night in Frankfurt. Multiple people shot.
I mean, it's every day now.
Came out here tonight and, like at will, just began shooting at people. Senseless.
What the police department and DA's office are asking of the community. Just in, a new report from the president's doctor. What he says the president can resume doing come Saturday.
It's hard for a parent to lose a child, but outliving your grandchild is even worse.
Remembering a young teenage girl whose life was taken way too soon. We begin with breaking news tonight. One person dead, 6 others injured in Frankfurt. Shell casings litter the streets. Family members and police are left wondering why tonight. Alexandria Hoff has been at the scene. She joins us with what she has learned from detectives. Alex, this is heartbreaking.
Jessica, it is absolutely heartbreaking, and the heartbreaking reality of a scene like this is that family members are not only asking why, but they are asking who. We have had loved ones come up to us and to officers asking if someone they know was among the 7 who were shot here tonight. Shell casings were found littering Frankford Avenue down into Allen Grove Street.
We have over 30 casings found at the scene, so there was a lot of firepower going on here.
Just before 8 p.m., multiple police units arrived to find 7 male gunshot victims ranging in age from 25 to 38. A 29-year-old male has died, police say. 2 other men are in extremely critical condition.
A male came up on foot, opened fire on them, continued to fire on them.
Investigators add that a second male came from across the street. He was firing as well, but investigators are unsure if the 2 men were acting together or if the second man was shooting in retaliation. One of the victims, according to police, may have not been associated with anyone else outside and was possibly just shopping at a store.
I mean, it's every day now. Nothing at all. I just had to walk to see what happened because it was a lot of guns. You just heard it.
And neighbors like Ed Flowers have been feeling it as the citywide death toll continues to reach new heights.
We always want to talk about numbers and look at numbers and numbers and numbers, but every one of these numbers is somebody's family member. Every one of these represents somebody who didn't come home tonight.
A recent addition to mass shooting scenes has been Philadelphia's District Attorney, Larry Krasner.
I wish I could tell you that we have an answer. The only answer I have is that the PPD and the district attorney's office and all other law enforcement have to be on the same page, and we all have to work together to see what we can do in this terrible crisis.
Now, the 2 men who we are told are in extremely critical condition right now were rushed right across the street from this shooting scene to the Jefferson Health Emergency Department. I was told that they will likely be transferred soon for more intensive care. We're reporting live in the Frankfurt section of Philadelphia. Alexandria Hoff, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Alex, thank you. Also breaking tonight, a 56-year-old man shot 15 times in the Hunting Park section of the city. Chopper 3 over the 4500 block of North 13th Street. The man was rushed to Einstein Medical Center where he died. So far, no arrest in this shooting. Residents of Germantown, meanwhile, are still paralyzed with fear tonight after a man went on a deadly rampage there. The crime spree unfolded early this morning at 4 locations, starting with a robbery at St. Luke's Church on Germantown Avenue, then 2 attempted carjackings and shootings. The suspect, who police called a deranged individual, is now dead after a shootout with police near West Rittenhouse Street, but not before he killed a 19-year-old woman, police say. The 2 other women who the gunman shot at were not injured. Police say that the man did not have any connection to any of the victims.
It's a shame for that young girl. She stepped out and didn't know her life was going to end today. And the murder has to stop because you never know. You're here today and gone tomorrow.
The officers again ordered him to drop his weapon. He did not. The officers fired, struck him several times.
Police have not yet released the name of the victim, or they have not identified the accused shooter. 6 people, including a man from Bear, Delaware, are facing federal charges in a plot to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Photos show SWAT team members overnight in Bear to arrest Barry Croft. According to court documents, the FBI learned about the plan through social media. The group allegedly discussed violently overthrowing the government and certain law enforcement agencies. The suspects are accused of planning to kidnap Michigan Governor Whitmer at her summer home. Governor Whitmer says that she blames President Trump's rhetoric, citing words that he used during last week's presidential debate.
Just last week, the President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these two Michigan militia groups.
Separately, 7 more people have been charged in additional plots related to attacks on lawmakers and law enforcement. Officials called the men violent extremists. More than 100 people gathered tonight to remember 17-year-old Madison Sparrow, who Delaware State Police say was murdered by her ex-boyfriend. Greg Argos attended the emotional vigil in Pennsville, Salem County.
Tonight's gathering is a journey.
That journey is one which not a single person here wishes they were on. Remembering 17-year-old Madison Sparrow,
who's absolutely beautiful, and you're thinking about the shortness of life.
Delaware State Police say 19-year-old Noah Sharp, Madison's ex-boyfriend, killed her late last week in Newcastle County, Delaware.
We're here to heal.
Now across the river in Pennsville, New Jersey, where her grandfather lives and teaches, hundreds gathering to pay their respects and pray for the family.
It's hard for a parent to lose a child, but outliving your grandchild is even worse.
Even though it was in one of the most terrible traumas that's ever happened, just to see everybody come together warms my heart.
Many of the folks gathering here tonight did not know Madison personally. They knew her grandfather, who they say is a pillar in this community and someone who, of course, misses his granddaughter oh so dearly.
I will miss her energy and her smile, the brightness of her.
But knowing she's no longer in pain and watching from above, grandfather Tom Mason says brings him immense comfort.
My granddaughter was a bright light. She is now with our Lord in heaven.
In Pennsville, New Jersey, Greg Argos, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Late tonight, President Trump's doctor announced that he anticipates the president will return to public engagements by this Saturday, just 10 days after he was diagnosed with COVID-19. CBS News correspondent Deborah Alfarone has the latest now from the White House.
President Trump's physician says he's responding well to treatment and is expected to make a full recovery. In a statement issued on Thursday evening, Dr. Sean Conley suggested the president would soon return to the campaign trail, writing, "Saturday will be day 10 since Thursday's diagnosis. I fully anticipate the president's safe return to public engagements at that time." Thursday evening, after the doctor's note was released, the Trump campaign renewed its demands for a face-to-face debate in Miami.
I think I'm better. I went to a point where I'd love to do a rally tonight. I wanted to do one last night.
Earlier, President Trump called into Fox Business for his first interview since being hospitalized. The president insisted he would only debate Joe Biden in person.
No, I'm not going to waste my time on a virtual debate. That's not what debating's all about. You sit behind a computer and do a debate. It's ridiculous.
Because of the president's illness, organizers wanted to hold next Thursday's town hall debate remotely in order to protect the health and safety of all involved. After the president rejected the idea, both campaigns announced they would hold their own separate events that day. The candidates agreed to meet in person on October 22nd, the night originally scheduled for their third and final debate. The Trump campaign demanded another debate on the 29th, but Biden said no.
I'm sticking with the dates. I'm showing up. I'll be there. And in fact, if he shows up, fine. If he doesn't, fine.
President Trump says he's no longer feeling any COVID-19 symptoms. However, it remains unclear when and where the president was infected and whether he could still spread the virus.
Mr. President, when was the last time you had a negative test before you tested positive? Why is the White House not telling the country that important fact?
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Democrats are still willing to negotiate another coronavirus relief bill. She invited the White House to rejoin the talks. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
Another satellite election office will open tomorrow in Philadelphia. The new office is at the Creative and Performing Arts School on South Broad Street. There you can apply for a mail-in ballot, fill it out, and turn it in, or turn in a ballot that you've already received. The center is open 7 days a week. There are already 9 satellite election offices, with more scheduled to open up leading to November 3rd, Election Day. Our website is a great resource in campaign 2020. We have the deadlines to register to vote, when you need to return a mail-in ballot, and where you can find your polling place. Just go to cbsphilly.com. City officials say that they barely made it out safely. Still ahead here on Eyewitness News, a building comes tumbling down. What contractors were doing when the disaster unfolded. And students say the game is not over yet. Their fight to keep baseball alive at LaSalle University. Kate?
Well, it's a cool, clear night across the area, and it will be a cool and pleasant end to the week, but we've got to keep a very close eye on Hurricane Delta. A new track was just released at the top of the hour. I'll bring you the latest information and when that system may impact our region.
She's a children's author, educator, and film producer. Jessica Cartalia chats with Philly's own Haley Edelman, the tough subjects she tackles head on, what she finds most rewarding, and her dream for kids in the city. Watch Friday at 11 on CBS 3.
Washington liberals have big plans for South Jersey, and they're counting on Amy Kennedy to help get it done. They're teaming up with Biden for the largest tax increase in American history. They want an extreme climate plan that could cost your family thousands a year. This is their radical agenda, and liberal Amy Kennedy is their hand-picked candidate. Liberal Amy Kennedy. She's part of their plan, not ours. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Reward yourself with an award-winning Cadillac, the most awarded automotive luxury brand for initial quality in 2020 according to J.D. Power. Or find the perfect ride for you with a diverse selection of uniquely crafted Cadillac SUVs and sedans. Drive a new Standard with a fresh new lineup from Cadillac. It's the ultimate in iconic luxury.
Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus $2,000 purchase allowance on a 2020 Cadillac XT4, XT5, and XT6. Visit your local Cadillac dealer today.
The blast tore apart the Humvee, and it was like molten hot sledgehammer that hit me in the face. It killed my friend. That bomb was made by Iranians. And now Joe Biden wants to cut another deal with them, paving the way for Iran to get the nuclear weapon, giving in to the monsters that did this to me and my friends. Iran is pure evil, and Joe Biden is dangerously weak.
America First Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
A home in South Philadelphia collapsed, and we're told that workers inside barely made it out safely. Jobber 3 over the 1900 block of 6th Street just before 2 this afternoon. City officials tell Eyewitness News that contractors were illegally digging out the basement of the unoccupied property. One of the building owners told CBS 3 the workers were cleaning up furniture when he heard creaking noises and got the workers out of the building. City officials say that the contractors who dig basements without permits risk losing their licenses and face possible criminal prosecution. Firefighters will monitor any flare-ups in this salvage yard fire from King of Prussia. The fire at Shorty's You Pull It began around 5 this afternoon. It took firefighters nearly 3 hours to get that fire under control. No word yet on what started the blaze. A rally today to save men's baseball at LaSalle University. Students, student athletes, even team management came together fighting to save their program. Kimberly Davis on why this group is not giving up easily.
A school without baseball doesn't make much sense to me, especially when we've had a historically good program.
America's pastime is about to be a thing of the past, at least at LaSalle University. A number of athletic programs are expected to be cut at the end of the academic year after the Board of Trustees approved a recommendation to reduce the number of LaSalle's athletics teams from 25 to 18, which includes the baseball team.
There's a chance we can save it, and that's what we're kind of focusing on right now.
The Explorers say they're not going down without a fight. Thursday afternoon, more than 100 people gathered for a rally in support of saving the team. David Portnoy of Barstool Sports stopped by the Explorers Den to review the pizza as a part of the rally.
For now, baseball fans here at LaSalle know that they're in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, and they're hoping for extra innings.
But according to the university, it all comes down to finances. A LaSalle spokesperson tells us, we have been in contact with them regularly, and we are going to continue these conversations in the weeks to come.
I have to worry about 35 student athletes that are hurting right now.
As the LaSalle community continues to fight, their sole prayer is to play ball. Reporting on the campus of LaSalle University, Kimberly Davis, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
We've learned that St. Basil Academy in Jenkintown is closing at the end of the school year. School officials say that they were already struggling financially before the pandemic hit. The private all-girls high school was established in 1931 by the Ukrainian Catholic Sisters of St. Basil. New Jersey reported 1,301 new coronavirus cases today, the highest single-day total of new cases since May. The state also reported 11 deaths. Officials say that the state continues to see a spike in cases, especially in Ocean and Monmouth counties.
We are anticipating a second wave, and we are preparing based on lessons learned from our prior experiences. If individuals do not adhere to social distancing, masking guidelines, washing your hands, staying home if you're sick, this wave has a potential to become a surge.
COVID-19 hospitalizations rose for the 5th straight day, the highest that we've seen since August. Temple University Hospital is looking for volunteers to participate in a COVID-19 vaccine trial. Doctors are recruiting up to 1,400 adults from the area to be part of Phase 3 of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine trial. Participants will either be given the vaccine or a placebo. If you want to sign up, we have put a link on our website, cbsphilly.com. The Gulf Coast is bracing for a powerful hurricane yet again. Hurricane Delta is heading right now for the coast of Louisiana after it ravaged Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Cancun city residents shared these photos of the aftermath on social media today. Hurricane Delta is expected to make landfall tomorrow with winds up to 105 miles per hour. And residents in Louisiana spent the day preparing for the storm. They boarded up windows and filled sandbags. Forecasters placed most of the state within Delta's path, including the area of Lake Charles, where Category 4 Hurricane Laura ripped houses from their foundations just 6 weeks ago. The storm's latest track is now out from the National Hurricane Center. Let's go right to meteorologist Kate Bilo for the very latest. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, this storm just is continuing to maintain its strength over the warm waters of the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see just the size of Delta compared to the size of Louisiana. This will encompass much of the state as it makes landfall tomorrow night. Likely less than 24 hours from now, likely tomorrow evening along the western coast of Louisiana as a Category 3 hurricane. That's where it stands right now. It has strengthened slightly since the last update. Winds are now up to 120 miles per hour. Central pressure has dropped to 955 millibars. It's moving north-northwest at 12 miles per hour. It's going to take a little bit of a turn, but will likely come on shore very close to where Laura made landfall, right around Lake Charles, Louisiana, as a Category 3 hurricane tomorrow evening. It'll downgrade quickly once it moves on shore, so this is expected probably sometime between 6 and 8 p.m. tomorrow. Then it comes on shore and it will weaken pretty quickly, the remnant low moving into portions of Tennessee and Kentucky over the course of the weekend. But it is expected to cause massive amounts of flooding, winds over 100 miles per hour, as well as storm surge, 5 to 10 inches of rain in that area. Similar path to Laura, and as we mentioned, much of that area is still recovering from the wrath of Laura. Landfall again Friday evening, and once it does make landfall along the coast of Louisiana tomorrow evening, it'll be the 10th named storm that has made landfall in the United States this year, and that is a record. We tied the record with number 9. This will be number 10, and that's never happened before since hurricane records have been kept. Back at home, it's much quieter. Bethlehem experiencing a beautiful night, very quiet along Main Street. Everyone tucked into bed or on the couch, maybe with an extra blanket on this chilly night. 47 degrees in Allentown right now. It's 46 in Mount Holly. It's 43 in Millville right now. A chilly night, and 55 in Philadelphia. Some spots may wake up in the upper 30s. And look at these temperature departures. Right now, it's 25 degrees colder than it was at this time last night in Millville. It's 12 degrees colder in Philly, 18-degree drop in Trenton. So big difference today with that cold front passage yesterday. Tonight is cool and clear. A few of these little lake effect rain showers are surviving. Maybe moving through the Poconos. I don't think they'll make it quite that far. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre maybe picking up a shower this evening, and that's about it. 49 tonight, clear skies, chilly temperatures, a light wind, a cool start to tomorrow morning. You want the sweater or the jacket if the kids are going to maybe hybrid school tomorrow, if you're headed out early in the morning, but it's a Zoom meeting on the deck kind of afternoon. 70 degrees, sunny and pleasant. perfect October Friday. Precipitation chances right around 0. Saturday, very low precip chances as well. But we'll start to deal with some of Delta's moisture Sunday as showers creep in. And then Monday brings us our best chance of rain. So there's Delta coming on shore tomorrow evening. Then the rain spreads north. It does start to fall apart pretty quickly. But by Sunday evening, showers have invaded. Then we have periods of rain throughout the day Monday. And then even Tuesday, a cold front moves through with yet another chance for a few showers, and it may stay a bit unsettled right through Wednesday and Thursday of next week. So next week looking a little bit messier than this week has been. 70 tomorrow, a warm start to the weekend. Saturday's beautiful, feeling like summer. Sunday, a few late day showers, rain likely Monday. That'll keep us cooler. And more showers on Tuesday. The good news is, doesn't look like we'll be dealing with massive amounts of flooding. This will be largely beneficial rain for us because it has been dry for quite some time. Jessica, back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. Pat Gallen has a look at what's coming up in sports. Hey, Pat.
Hi, Jess. The Eagles are preparing for a big game Sunday, but one player is apologizing. We'll explain. Plus, more positive COVID tests means the NFL is shuffling the schedule again. We'll tell you who is involved next in sports.
How long was I out? We literally just finalized the script, such as they are. I can't wait to find out what we just wrote.
Ray Moore and Flanagan. The comfort of home starts here.
Amy Kennedy is extreme, saying there's a lot of merit to defunding our police. Kennedy even raised bail money for violent criminals and rapists. Less money for police. That's Amy Kennedy. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Lisa Schaller, and I approve this message.
As a highly paid lawyer, Susan Wild chose to defend the worst of the worst. A counselor accused of raping a minor. A physician who performed genital exams on 60 young girls without their consent. In Congress, she sponsored a bill giving millions of taxpayer dollars to her own political campaign, using your money for negative ads and personal expenses. Susan Wild is too wild for Pennsylvanians.
America's economy coming back. Now, Joe Biden out with his plan.
I would shut it down.
Joe Biden today on taxes.
Guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Biden promising he'll raise taxes on day one.
On day one, I would shut it down. Guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut. On day one.
Joe Biden. The times are tough. The man is too weak.
America First Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Joe Biden will make health care affordable. His plan gives a tax credit to help working families pay insurance premiums, lowers prescription costs by 60%, and protects coverage for pre-existing conditions, no matter what. He'll pay for it by getting rid of Donald Trump's tax cuts for the super rich, because Joe knows our economy's strength doesn't come from the top. It comes from working families, and that's who he's fighting for every day.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Politicians have proposed a new idea called the public option. The problem is, the costs of the public option aren't optional. Under this government-controlled health insurance system, the average American worker could see their annual payroll taxes increase by $2,300, even if they like their coverage. While our nation is recovering, let's build on what's working, where private coverage, Medicare, and Medicaid work together, not start over.
We've all had to find different ways to keep busy since the coronavirus crisis. I have an immune deficiency, so I'm extra at risk. Thankfully, my insurance covers infusions that help. But Washington Republicans are trying to strip people of their health care, and David Richter opposes the law that protects people with pre-existing conditions. People like me. Without those treatments, I'd be stuck inside forever. That's a lot of fabric.
I'm Andy Kim, and I approve this message.
Amy Kennedy, a radical job-killing agenda. Kennedy's healthcare scheme could raise taxes $2,800 a year and slash money for hospitals. With Amy Kennedy, we pay more and get less. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Eagles may have gotten their first win on Sunday, but getting win number 2, it's going to be a challenge. They'll head across the state to take on the 3-0 Steelers. The good news is the Eagles' defense is coming off their best game of the season. They forced 3 turnovers on the 49ers last week, but Pittsburgh is known for their run game. They're averaging about 140 yards on the ground, and they also have that Big Ben guy at quarterback.
Being elite, been in the league
for a long time. So we know we got to try to disrupt and try to create problems, because if we give him a lot of time, he can make a lot of plays happen and extend a lot of plays. So we got to be big on trying to get him down and bringing him down.
Eagles linebacker Nate Gerry apologized today after old tweets containing racial slurs resurfaced. Gerry used the N-word in several tweets from 2011 and 2012. In his apology, Gerry said, in part, I am incredibly disappointed in myself and downright sick over these actions because I know that they don't reflect my values as a person. He went on to say, I am committed to showing through my actions that is not who I am or what I represent. Hours after the 23rd Tennessee Titans player tested positive for COVID-19, the league has again moved their game. The Titans and Bills were scheduled for 1 p.m. on Sunday. It'll now be played Tuesday at 7 p.m. here on CBS, but that's dependent on no more positive tests. The Patriots-Broncos game has also been pushed back due to positives on the Pats. That's moving to Monday night at 5 p.m. Some sad news from the Phillies. The team announced that former third baseman Kim Batiste died Wednesday at age 52. Batiste died after complications from kidney surgery. He was best known as a role player on the '93 World Series squad. And the biggest moment of his career came in Game 1 of the NLCS against the Braves when he made a throwing error in the ninth, only to win the game with a walk-off double in the 10th. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
This is an important election announcement. If you are one of millions of Pennsylvanians voting early by mail, complete your entire ballot in blue or black ink. Don't forget to seal your completed ballot in the smaller secrecy envelope. Then, place that in the larger return envelope. You must place the ballot in the secrecy envelope for your vote to count. You must also complete and sign the voter declaration on the back of the return envelope. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Morning Call said Lisa Scheller's negative attack ad is, quote, not true. Lisa Scheller slashed funding for Cedarbrook Nursing Home, which now has among the most COVID cases and deaths in the state.
I've worked to get healthcare costs covered for anyone infected by the virus and for free testing. Getting more funding to protect nursing homes and frontline workers has been my priority. I'm Susan Wild, and I approve this message to get help to the people who need it most.
The facts are public record. David Richter failed as a CEO. His company lost millions and was fined $500,000 for accounting fraud. Worse, while the company was losing millions, David Richter was taking millions in salary and perks, personal vehicles, household staff, even cash bonuses for his family. Until he resigned in disgrace. His own company couldn't trust David Richter. Why would we? DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
President Donald J. Trump delivered on the impossible in his first term, and in his second term, he will continue to fight for you. President Trump will end our reliance on China, eradicate the coronavirus, and make our medicines and supplies here in the United States. Create 10 million jobs in the next 10 months. This is President Trump's vision for America, one of boundless optimism and certainty in America's greatness.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
After all that's happened, only Joe Biden has a plan to make us stronger. Widespread testing so we can get back to work. Then, rebuild America's middle class with paid sick leave, career and technical training, a secure retirement, and affordable health care with a public option that drives down costs. The character to do what's right, the experience to get it done. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I was wondering if I could try to give you a hug, please. It's television magic with James Corden.
Step back.
No! Next Drew.
Tomorrow at 9 on CBS 3.
CBS 3, the CW Philly and Coleman, Philadelphia have teamed up to turn the skyline pink. The National Constitution Center in Old City is all aglow in pink lights as part of October's Lights for the Fight campaign. It's a reminder to schedule a mammogram. Getting a checkup nowadays may be a little bit scary because of the pandemic, but extensive safety measures are in place to protect you. There's more information at cbsphilly.com/lights. SEPTA workers are being honored as heroes for their work during the pandemic. SEPTA unveiled the Frontline Heroes tribute wall today at Suburban Station. It features profiles and photos of 28 employees who keep the system running, from conductors to cleaning crews. SEPTA says its frontline employees are some of the most essential workers in the region right now. The mural will be up for 90 days.
Well, with your weekend watch, expect a split weekend once again, half and half. On Saturday, warm with a mix of sun and clouds. Great day to get outside, a high near 80. But then Sunday, rain will arrive, especially later in the day. Scattered showers start to work their way in. Rain will likely pick up in intensity a bit later Sunday into Monday, and that's moisture from Hurricane Delta.
Amy Kennedy is extreme, saying there's a lot of merit to defunding our police. Kennedy even raised bail money for violent criminals and rapists. Less money for police. That's Amy Kennedy. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Joe Biden was raised with middle-class values. Joe doesn't need to be the center of attention or see himself on TV. He has always focused on getting the job done. Joe led us out of the 2008 recession and increased health coverage for millions. As president, Joe will focus on getting us out of our crises. He'll listen to experts, work across the aisle, and put the American people first. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Our seniors that are being hit the hardest, they're frightened. And I want them to know that their health and safety will be my responsibility if I'm your president. And I'll have from day one, ready to go, the best medical experts and scientists to advise on our response. And I will not abandon you. It's a simple proposition, folks. We're all in this together. We got to fight this together. We'll emerge from this stronger because we did it together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I had come home one night. It was dark out. My children were not home, and I noticed that the front door was wide open. And within a few minutes, the police did arrive. They searched my entire home so that I could feel safe in my own home. My security system is knowing that I can pick up the phone and a police officer will be there within a moment's notice if I need them. And Christina Finello's crazy radical supporters are dead set on taking that away from me. And that I cannot support.
Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
America's economy coming back. Now, Joe Biden out with his plan.
I would shut it down.
Joe Biden today on taxes.
Guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
Biden promising he'll raise taxes on day one.
On day one, I would shut it down. Guess what? If you elect me, you're not going to have your taxes are going to be raised, not cut. On day one.
Joe Biden. The times are tough. The man is too weak.
America First Action is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Insurance has been missing something. Ah, that's better. AAA. Those three little letters make a big difference. Goodbye, insurance. Hello, insurance. Get a quote and save up to 20%.
The coronavirus.
This is their new hoax.
We think the death will be at a very low number.
We have it totally under control. I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it. One day it's like a miracle. It will disappear. We really think we've done a great job in keeping it down to a minimum.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Priorities USA Action is responsible for the content of this ad.
Amy Kennedy, a radical job-killing agenda. Kennedy's healthcare scheme could raise taxes $2,800 a year and slash money for hospitals. With Amy Kennedy, we pay more and get less. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Coming up next, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, followed by The Late Late Show with James Corden. Our morning team is back tomorrow from 4:30 to 7 a.m. For everyone here, I'm Jessica Cartalia. Remember, we are now streaming all day long on cbsphilly.com and on your favorite streaming devices. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night and please be safe. And we will see you tomorrow.